Welcome to the Menopause Playbook Podcast. I'm your coach, Amelia Lady B. Get ready to enhance your internal conversations and create strategies to navigate life, menopause, faith, health, and mental well-being. Grab your playbooks, ladies. It's time to get in the game. Hey, y'all. Hey. It's been a minute. My last episode was back in, was it August? I think I did that episode was about the Olympic effect. And I really enjoyed that episode. But since then, I've kind of hit a stumbling block. And I'm getting right into this episode because I just want to share with you that even though you have stumbling blocks, you got to find a way to pick yourself up and just to know that everybody has them. Nobody's perfect. And I think for me, I view myself, well, I'm a coach, right? So people, or maybe I'm projecting what I think people think about me, right? So oftentimes those who are coaches, counselors, mentors in leadership, you kind of put yourself in this perspective that you have to be perfect and in order to help other people. So you have to be perfect or set apart in a way where you're like the subject matter expert on things and you shouldn't be struggling with certain things that others are. Here's the thing. I think if I was going to if I had a coach, I would definitely hope that my coach, my therapist, even anyone in leadership has someone that they can go to vent, someone that they can go to that actually helps build them up. Because just like a doctor can't treat themselves. They would have to go to a doctor in order to be treated. Same with a dentist, optometrist, whatever the case may be. You have to go to a doctor in order to get the help that you need. We have some of the greatest athletes out there, right? And they still have coaches. They're great at what they do. They might be exceptional at what they do, but they need coaches. They still need help. They need help with their mental health. They need help with their physical health and so forth and so on. So why I'm talking to myself, and let's say other entrepreneurs, why do we put so much on our plates? You might be a mother, a wife, and you're going through things. You might need a friend group that has children, someone in your circle that you can really go to and trust, and you confide in them for help. You confide in a mom, mother-in-law, whomever, how to manage your household, XYZ. I don't know. All those things. We all need help. No man can survive on an island by themselves. And sometimes we put ourselves on these islands based off of what we think how others may perceive us if we reach out for said help. And that is where I kind of found myself in, and just being frustrated with everything. So recently, I'm going to say it was just after the Olympics when I had a meeting on my job and they were getting ready. My supervisor was sharing with us as a team what we were going to be doing in the new fiscal year and what our schedule was going to look like. So I'm a monitor. My job as a monitor is to go out and we review, some people call it survey, Others call it audit, but we audit charts. So we manage a contract, several contracts, about 50, I think we have like 50 something contracts of providers within the community who provide behavioral health. And so we have to go out and monitor them. So this means we're monitoring, we're reviewing charts. We have different layers of it, okay? Different elements of this monitoring, and prepping for it is very difficult, can be very difficult. So this time around, this summer, when we had kind of like downtime where we didn't have to go out, I had made a plan for what I was going to do. And I started my podcast this summer, and I was going to, I had all my episodes out, ready. I was working on a course that I actually completed, and I wanted to put that out for the month of September so that I can do group coaching. I was going to put my schedule out for individual coaching, more out for individual coaching, and I was going to do other things as well as it came along, right? Because I want a few cohorts of the group coaching just to kind of get the hang of things, see what that looks like, see if that's something that people are interested in. Okay, so that was my plan. So here comes my supervisor, and she shows us the list of providers that we have for this fiscal year. And when I tell you, we are booked, meaning like every week we have a monitoring. Now, there was 3 of us on our team that are monitors, but one of the team members got promoted, which is great. So she's now our supervisor, but she's out of the rotation for monitoring. So that puts 2 of us back to back as monitors. So it can be a little difficult because of the work, the prep work, and things like that. So I found myself very overwhelmed just by thinking about it. I'm like, man, that means I have to put some things on the back burner. Like, how am I going to get used to this schedule? What are my weekends going to look like? Because we have such a turnaround time for certain deadlines, for certain things. And that might look like me having to work on the weekend, which I hate. This may even require me working late at night, which is not really a good thing for me, being that I do have difficulty sleeping anyway, or at least getting to sleep, and sometimes even staying asleep. It just all depends. So that came up. It's been 3 weeks now into our season. And this week, I wanted to scream. I literally wanted to take my computer, go up to the office and turn everything in and just say, I'm done. I can't do this. I give up. You guys can have it. I quit. That's what I wanted to do. But of course, in my adult mind, it's stopped me so quickly. Amelia, who's going to pay your bills? You have rent to pay. You have bills to pay. So I got myself together, but I was still frustrated. And in the midst of that frustration, of course, I noticed that a few of my menopause symptoms just decide that they want to rear their ugly heads. So I noticed that I was having more hot flashes, which I really don't have too much of an issue with now. It's not as intense as it was when I first started menopause. So I was using my fan quite a bit while we were in the monitoring, and the room was really cold. And I was dressed pretty in nice, cool clothing, but I was flashing quite often. I also had issues with sleeping, getting to sleep, when honestly this summer I actually was pretty good at going to bed and waking up. But this week was really rough for me. I think too, because I had so much on my mind and it was just harder for me to sleep. I also noticed that I was dealing with the, what is it called? Pharmacation. I think that's what it's called when you have crawly skin. So the Wednesday that I wanted to submit my, that I wanted to say I quit, I get to the monitoring and I'm just all frustrated, just like, ugh. I come in, I'm just like, ugh. And everybody's like, Amelia, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I don't know, just not today. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just frustrated. I'm overwhelmed, all of that. So I start like feeling things crawling on me. Like it feels really weird. Some of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I thought something was crawling in my ear, all this stuff. And I'm like, I took a shower. What's going on? I'm not dirty. But yeah. And I experienced this before. This is not my first time feeling the crawly feeling, but not this intense and not for this long. Today is Friday. I'm recording this. So Wednesday it was very intense. Tuesday Thursday it calmed down a little bit. Friday today it was much better. I was home today because we had the closing on Thursday. So I was good. I was able to relax, calm myself down. I prayed. I was just talking to God about my situation, what was going on, and, just asking for clarification, asking for a strategy to get some things done because I just couldn't see anything really working out with this schedule. I mean, it's just so much. So, yeah, and here I am. So I was so frustrated and like God just was like, get on the mic, talk about it because you're not the only one. And a part of me just kind of felt like, oh, well, I shouldn't come on here talking negatively. But at the same time, I mean, as I sit here now and I'm thinking about it, it's just like, this is how I built my platform. I came on here. I didn't even try. I wasn't even, when I first started this, and I'm not talking about Menopause Playbook, I mean like millennial and menopause in general. I came on to share my experience, what I was going through, and that's how people started following me as far as relating to me and stuff. And that's what it's all about. I'm not trying to, it's like I had to sit and assess, what are you trying to do here? And this is what I'm trying to do. I want to show people, I want to show you, my listeners, that, we all go through something. I know I provide a lot of advice. I give a lot of tips on what to do, and also talk about like herbs and how to talk to your doctor and all these different things, all these different tips and stuff. But I also struggle with things, and it's okay. And I hope that in me sharing this helps you to know, and whatever you're doing in your life, if you're a coach, if you're a doctor, if you're a therapist, if you're a teacher, if you're a leader, mentor, anything, it's okay to share what we call the flaws, or share the downsides to our life. And of course, share in as much details as you choose or you want to share. You don't have to share every little thing, but it provides a settling, I would say, in the person that you're speaking to, like to look at you as, oh, wow, you're a real person. Oh, wow, she's experiencing the same thing that I am, or has experienced the same thing that I did. And she overcame it. She pushed through, she persevered, things like that. And it just helps people to see you as a human, and not a superhuman, and also helps them in their journey as well. Yeah. So I don't necessarily really have any playbook tips. Maybe my tip would be to take it one day at a time. We can't figure everything out in one sitting, right? We can't push ourselves to be perfect. And sometimes things do not go as we plan for them to go. And a lot of times that's okay. Because maybe, just maybe I wasn't ready for a September group coaching, right? Maybe I just wasn't ready. Maybe my mind wasn't in the right place. Maybe God was like, I think you need to sit back for a minute and approach this differently. Because maybe the way that I was approaching it originally wasn't maybe the best. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. But everything in God's timing. We hear that all the time, everything in God's timing. But truly, everything in God's timing. It's not always our timing. We can create a schedule, which is fine and dandy. We have tasks, we have things that we want to accomplish, blah, blah, blah. That's great, actually, to have. But also, we must be mindful and aware that sometimes the schedules get pushed back. Sometimes we move things around. I had this list of podcast topics that I wanted to do. I think I had 25, 30. And honestly, I think I've done the 5. And even then, they're not actually in the order that I had them in. So this one is unscheduled. This one wasn't even on the list. So yeah, we can have these plans, but it's like God, we surrender to God. We allow God to guide us in our everyday life. And if you truly, when sometimes we say, oh yeah, I let God lead me and he's the head of my life, but is he truly the head of your life? You know what I mean? So it's like we have to, when we say that, we really, in times like this, like everything that I had been thinking about, it lets me know, then are you truly putting God the head of your life, the head of your business, the head of what you're doing in your day-to-day? So it kind of challenged me a bit, but for sure, we can have these schedules, but sometimes it's just not going to work out that way. And it doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It doesn't mean that you haven't put in the work. It just means not right now. Also, it's okay to be transparent. That's another tip. It's okay to be transparent because it's going to help somebody else along the way. And it's not to tell all your business, but to just share something that can help them, that shows you as a human being, as someone who feels, someone who has overcome something, been through something, and that could possibly need help too. Because a lot of times you may be mentoring, you may be leading someone or coaching someone. Your clients, your mentees, your staff, whomever, could always provide not just a listening ear, but provide even some tips for you, provide some encouragement for you. You just never know. You never know. Yeah, so be open to receive. If you're a person who gives a lot, who shares a lot, be open to receive as well. So I think those are my tips for this week. And I just pray that as you're listening to this, and if you need to listen to it again, I hope what I said made sense. But I also hope that it encourages you not to put so much stress on yourself, because it can affect your physical health. It can affect, it does affect our menopause symptoms. It causes them to increase. I'm sure it causes bad eating habits. It causes stress levels to go up. So it causes your physical health, blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever it is. And we want to be as healthy as possible. So be aware of your bodies. Be aware of what's happening around you. And if you feel like it's spiritual, and a part of me does feel like this is more spiritual than it is natural, then it's time to get into the prayer closets. It's time to pray. It's time to fast. It's time to, if you feel like you're not strong enough to pray for yourself, call on your friends, spiritual leaders, whomever, to pray with you, to help you pray through this situation, this time that you're going through. We all need each other. We need our sisters in Christ, brothers in Christ. We need each other to build each other up. So whatever it is that you're going through, I pray that you will find your way through prayer, through fasting. I pray that the Lord will lead you to and guide you in the direction that you should go, and that you find that clarity in your life. So until next time, ladies, thank you for listening to the Menopause Playbook. Follow me on Instagram at Millennial in Menopause. Check out my website, millennialinmenopause.com. Until next time, ladies, be blessed, bold, and beautiful.